Okay. It says start streaming. That should be good there. I'm not very good at figuring out when this happens. So now we're going to make sure I have audio going. It says upcoming live streams. And I ran into an ad. If you guys can see this, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know if audio is good and all that good stuff. It should be fine, but I'm going to try to make sure it's perfect. Alright. Audio should be good. Hold on. Get all this stuff squared away. There we go. And let's see. Wonderful. I'm live. Great. Brilliant. All that good stuff. Now, make sure you guys ask questions or whatever you guys have questions with. I'm going to be setting up some more stuff on the back end here, making sure everything's good to go. It looks fine. And there we go. Yeah, for you guys that don't know, I've been having some issues with the whole live streaming thing, so it's nice to have it all sorted and situated. Alright, we got that taken care of. Alright, so, looks like we're up to go, good to go and all that good stuff. So what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about, well, simply put, Father's Day and the sales that we're going to be running into with the televisions that we have on the market right now. Now, a fair note, there will be some TVs that will launch, I believe, like late July, early August, early to mid-August, really. And typically, those are going to be more of the budget-type TVs. So the TCL, the Hisense, things like that, that's what we're waiting for next. We're also still waiting for the ultra-premium Sony A95K. They say that pre-orders are available around June, but at this point, we don't have a release date, which is, like, very stupid in my personal opinion. But all that stuff out of the way. What's going on, Kelly Ravad? What's going on, Craig? What's going on, Dan? How is everybody doing today? Now, I'm going to try to do my best to try to answer some of the questions I've been getting throughout the week, and then I'll also do what I can to try to go over a lot of the sales as well. So what I'll do as well, so everybody has a chance to ask their questions here, I'll put here in the community tab. Okay. There we go. Just a simple, we're live. There you go. Okay, so the first thing we got to do when we look at televisions as far as Father's Day, we want to make sure that we're finding the right ones. Now, a lot of people kind of have obviously their own opinion as to what constitutes being the right one. But the thing for me that I think everybody should keep in mind when you're talking about Father's Day sales and things like that is, what are you looking for? So I see a lot of people like just buying because they like go on a review site or they like look at a blog or something. They say this is the best for gaming or this is the best for this. I think if you're going to get the best TV, you want to make sure that you're finding what you do with it. And because I keep getting questions like, oh, I bought, like, for example, the QNED 90. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm not happy. Like, I watch a lot of movies in a dark environment. Unfortunately, they're never going to put on the box like, hey, how's it going, guys? We messed up. Black levels are actually really great because it's an IPS screen. So, like, those are things you're going to have to figure out on your own. Then you have to try to find somebody that's going to level with you and tell you that kind of thing. I mean, people will tell you that kind of thing. I'm not suggesting I'm the only person that could tell you whether or not it's IPS or all that. But my point is, it's a lot harder to find that kind of information out on the box. Now, I think if you're somebody that, like, wants a good budget TV, I say budget TV because, like, everybody always talks about the most premium $4,000, $5,000 TVs. Not necessary. When we talk about budget TVs, I would say right now you have a couple different options. I mean, and again, you can do whatever you want, but I highly recommend you go with something like the TCL S546 still until we get the replacement coming out maybe later this August or something like that. The reason being is because so far on the market, I mean, even right now, I'm currently testing the Samsung Q60B. It's a decent budget TV, I'll grant you, but it's not giving you that picture quality that you would expect from, you know, an upgrade, right? Like if you're coming from an older TV, you're expecting like it to blow everything your older TV was capable of out of the water. And we're seeing a weird transition period in the LED market where more or less it's kind of like, it's stagnant, if you will, where it's like we have gray black returning on LED televisions where before it was a point where we were getting farther away from that. Even if you look in 2016 with, you know, the edgelit TVs we had on the market back then. They were trying to fix a lot of the gray black with local dimming, and now we no longer have local dimming on like entry level sets from like big manufacturers. So you have to look more to the budget brands like TCL, like Hisense. I would say Vizio, but Vizio has a massive problem with bugs. And when I mean bugs, they typically with audio, it glitches a lot, and the UI not the greatest. And that's just user interface. It's clunky, clogs up. It just don't do it. It's too glitchy. Times out. Way too slow. Freezes almost. That's how slow it is. Now, I have seen a lot of people asking for, like, the best, like, budget 75-inch or, like, 85-inch even. And that's where we kind of have to have a little bit of a conversation here. Now, I know it's a little bit of, like, a gray area because, the people who are buying those TVs don't want to break the bank, but at the same time, you're willing to invest in it a little bit. It's still kind of tricky because it's not really like you're going to get a great 75-inch for a budget price. A lot of people kind of by default have to go with something like the TCL, R646 or something like that, because right now we don't really have that many options as far as like 75, 85-inch TVs that are great. Because if you look at even like the Samsung QN90B, the QN85B, those TVs suffer from blooming. And the reason that happens is because we have this misconception that like they tell us, oh, mini LED, tons of zones packed in there. We see it happening even with the TCL. They're talking about 1,000 zones. The problem with that is, yes, you have 1,000 zones, but what they aren't telling you is the native contrast. Now, that wouldn't be a problem if that didn't directly impact how much problem as far as blooming and gray uniformity in black levels that you would find. So I think the hard part is more or less trying to find good native contrast TVs. And that is almost impossible to figure out. Nobody publishes that almost anywhere. You have, Artings.com that'll publish it. I can publish that stuff. I publish that stuff from time to time on certain sets, but that's a very niche thing. Like, it's not like everybody knows the native contrast of these panels and what they do. But local dimming is a band-aid. If you have gray black from the jump and then you tell it to dim certain portions of the screen, well, that's not really going to stop the other portions that are glowing or lighting up from being gray-black, and that's where the blooming comes in and all the ugly stuff. And so enter OLED. If you're trying to get a 77-inch, 75-inch, 85-inch OLED, you are going to come off of a lot of money. Like, a lot. So then you're right back at, like, square one. So I think, honestly, I wouldn't go too crazy with that particular size because it's going to be a lot harder to find quality at that size point. But again, if you just want like the bigger screen size because it's more immersive and things like that, you want to feel like the theater screen, then I get it. But I personally don't recommend 75 inches. I'll give you some options, but no. Typically, you're blowing up the screen a little too much, and that kind of plays a role in it as well. And so that's one of those things that I see that can be problematic as well as time goes on with these things. So now I'm going to try to open up the chat here. I see a lot of lagging in my chat for some reason. It's very strange. I'm not getting a lot of the questions, so just kind of hang in there. I see Aqua. I think I got your name wrong. Aqua22, what's going on? You said, by the way, thank you for your donation of $1.99 on the channel. It really helps us out here. You say, hope you're doing well, my friend. Let's talk TVs. Sure thing. I'm game. We've got Craig. What's going on? Kelly. We've got Craig says, Samsung from other YouTubers said nits have gone down after updates. S95B, any problem with yours? Well, I took my S95B offline. I typically, with all the TVs that I have, the moment I'm satisfied with where it's at, I usually go offline almost immediately because I don't want to run into the situation where it's like, damn, I just totally lost all that I loved about it because of an update. And 9 times out of 10, updates tend to de-optimize something where they should have optimized it. So, I don't know. I usually leave those kind of things off because I don't really like messing with that too much. And then there's the other problem where each manufacturer like kind of is known for a different reputation with these updates. Like, for example, Samsung, they're known for like nerfing the hell out of their televisions with updates. That's just what they're known for. In my experience, I mean, every Samsung I own, the Q8FN behind me, the KS8000, all the Samsung TVs, man, they just do that. So it's hard because I don't want to take it online and then run into some problem, and then at the same time you guys have questions about it. But Yeah, I would just stay offline if you're happy with it because it's not necessary to update all the time. But no, I haven't had any problems with mine with the updates that I have done. And yo, what's going on, Handicart Mexican? What's up, man? You said, hell, my TV is at 900 right now on Amazon, haha. Yeah, that's the thing. Father's Day is usually where we see a lot of the sales. Like we're seeing now, the sales are good, but it's at a tricky point in time where it's like, all right, Father's Day sale hits, and then right after that, we have the new launch of like TCL, Hisense, things like that. So, meh, it's hard because on the one hand, it's like you want to jump on the sales now, but you can't really get on that. So it's kind of hard to do all that. We've got I'm not seeing T Cobb. I don't see T Cobb here. You said what's your budget, T Cobb? I don't see T Cobb here. I don't know if it's the chat or what, but I'm not seeing some of your questions, so you guys are gonna have to forgive me. The chat's lagging here, so again I apologize for that. I know it's because I have slow mode on, so some things are a little bit slower. I tried to do that so that I can answer questions, and it accidentally ended up being like a double-edged sword. So it is what it is. Maybe we won't do that next time. I'll just struggle like I usually do. We've got the Christian Conservative. I appreciate your donation of $20. I appreciate it. You said thoughts on adjusting in-game brightness. You can get pretty creative with TV settings when you kind of balance in-game brightness with the core brightness of the television. So it really does depend. For example, some of the things I used to like to do, especially on TVs that, like, by default, they're, like, kind of crappy. Like, especially edge-lit TVs, budget TVs, TVs with gray blacks. I'm not talking about things like your TCL S546. I'm talking, like, sub-$400 TVs, like 300, 200, like, where the blacks are a little bit gray. And because they're a little bit gray, you have hella shadow detail. Yay, great. But the black levels aren't really great. So what I would do, if it had the option, because some of the newer, like, cheaper budget-in TVs have the option to go in and do things like adjust, and you can add like PC RGB mode, and that would do is completely throw off the black levels and make everything super dark and crush everything. But because again you had like almost infinite shadow detail because it was just a gray screen, you could then go in and raise things and fix things. And so for me, it's just kind of like in-game brightness though, in a traditional sense, I would raise the brightness so that it just meets what the clipping point is and just bring it down below that by a bit. You can get test patterns and all kinds of things. Most games kind of put that in there so that you don't have any problems. They're really good about that, but I usually, for the most part, if your TV is optimized correctly, you shouldn't have to, especially on LED sets, mess too much with the in-game brightness. Unless, of course, it's a game that is super dark. Some games, like, I've had that problem with Tomb Raider games. I hear that a lot, I think, with like Red Dead Redemption games, but I haven't played those, so I don't know. But I know for a fact that with Tomb Raider games, I've had problems where it was like really dark and I had to raise the brightness just a hair or two. Especially the Definitive Edition on Xbox, that was like a complete mess for me. So it really is like a case-by-case thing. I can't really just say like this is how you should do all in-game brightness sort of thing. So hopefully that helps as far as questions go. We've got Kelly Rivad. You said, no kidding, I feel like Halloween is going to sneak up on me next week. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because, we're talking about these TVs and, all the retail stores around us, the moment we get comfortable, they're just going to start dragging out end caps. And, we're already, it's June right now. I promise you, they're already, I know for a fact they're already setting up for 4th of July at pretty much every store. And then after 4th of July is over, then they're just immediately like the next holiday, let's roll it in. It's like shameless greed. They just continue to roll the wheels of cash grabbing, but it is what it is. Kimar, what's going on, man? You said, hey, Quantum, how do you feel about the Sony soundbar HT A7000? Couldn't find the other one you recommended. I actually had a chance to listen to that one. I think it sounds really good. So, yeah, I'd say go for it. It's a bit bulky, so it's not going to fit under most TVs, in my opinion. I haven't actually tested that, but it's pretty thick. It's, like, really big. So I think that's the only factor there. But as far as sound, I like the sound. I think it sounds really good, especially if you're in a more enclosed room or a smaller room that doesn't have cathedral ceilings or like ridiculously open floor plans where sound just splashes everywhere and gets it just disappears into the void. I think you'll be fine with the A7000 HT A7000. It's a really good sounding soundbar for sure. Ben, what's going on, man? You said at 77 inches, you'd want to be at least 12 feet away. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, like, it sounds cliche, but if you multiply your resolution of 4K or even 1080p or whatever you're watching regularly, that's the megapixel count that you have, like 1920 by 1080p. Boom, you're immediately going to arrive at 2 megapixels. And if you do 4K, 3840 by 2160p, you arrive at something like 8 megapixels or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not great. Again, I'm not pulling out the calculator or anything like that, but you get the idea. It tells you the megapixels, and people want to blow these small resolutions up to like stadium-sized screens. Meanwhile, as a photographer, I'm sitting here like, dude, I need like 46 megapixels minimally if I'm trying to do like billboard size stuff, because I want tight pixels, because I'm trying to blow it up, and of course you lose detail when you blow things up. It's like when you take a picture on your phone and you just start pinching and grabbing it, and then the whole picture just falls apart because it doesn't have enough pixels. And that's kind of the same concept with these TVs, but TV manufacturers aren't going to tell you this. They're just going to tell you, hey, go for the 8K TV. It'll blow your mind. We can upscale everything to 8K. What they're not telling you is it checkerboard rendering upscaling? Is it temporal injection or whatever the hell it is? I'm not a, rendering wizard with the way that they scale these images, but you don't want crop upscaling. That's the worst one, because all it is just zoom. That doesn't help anyone. You're losing parts of the information and stuff like that. So for me, I don't like it. So yeah, it's hard for me because like I always hear people ask 77 inches, 75 inches, 85 inches. Some people want 90 inches. I say if you're not in like a mansion of a place, you really don't need to go beyond like honestly, 75 inches is max. I think anything larger than 75 inches is kind of overkill. But again, I'm not in a massive place, so I don't have like cathedral ceilings and like a mile of like a living room. You have to shout across the living room, and it still takes 5 minutes before it reaches the next person. Like that's not my life. So I think that's kind of like the situation where you want these ridiculous like stadium-sized screens, but they're kind of playing on the part where they're like, go bigger. Bigger is always better. And I've seen some live streams of some other YouTubers, like just YouTubers in general, saying you always want the bigger screen. And, I talk to a lot of people, even coworkers that I work with, on the job, they'll be like, oh, yeah, by the way, you want to make sure you get a big screen because a big screen's like, that's it. It's one of those things, like people want what they want, but knowing the science behind it and like all you're doing is blowing up pixels is so hard for me to get behind that. Like it really is. But yeah, we've got... he deleted his comment, apparently. Makes sense, because I definitely didn't see it. We've got Dwayne. What's going on, man? You said, yo, what's up, guys? Shout out from Trinidad and Tobago. What's going on, man? Thanks for stopping by tonight. I always love seeing where you guys are from, so if you want to rep where you're from, put the love down below. I love to see all the countries and stuff like that. It makes me so happy to see that stuff. How many questions are we allowed to ask? As many as you want within the time frame that we have here. I'm going to answer as many as I can, as always. I know I haven't been on the live streams as much. I've been sick, really sick, trying to recover from being sick. I've been juggling with work, with family, with life. And then, of course, as you guys know, dealing with that nonsensical drama crap that people throw our way. Trolls attacking our channel. It's been a whole fun little thing. So it's one of those things where it's just like I haven't been able to regularly do what I was doing. And then my favorite, I get the black screen of death on my desktop. I've got the freaking damn, my capture card stops working. My main camera that I use to shoot all my videos for live stream, the port craps out on me. So I've got to figure out how to redo my live streams all over again. It was like this big ordeal, like one thing after another. It's like, damn, I really am playing life on hard mode right now. No breaks. It sucks, but we figured it out. I've got my secondary camera working. It's not as good quality as I would like. It's not where I was at, but I think it looks okay from what I can see. It's all right. It'll do, for now, and then we'll upgrade and fix it later on. But that's just how these things work out. Shout out to Black Wolf 412. You said, by the way, thank you for your donation of $2. I appreciate it. Again, you guys are always helping Quantum TV out, and you guys are seen. I see you guys, so thank you for rocking with me. You say, you're a cool brother, stay blessed, no stress. That's the game, man. We're trying to just relax, chill, hang out, positive vibes where we can put them, and then just kind of forget everything else, right? We've got what is it? The Christian Conservative says, how often should the average person buy a TV? I think honestly, like realistically, unless they release a new color standard, like BT 2020 for SDR, I would love that. Not probably going to happen. Or like 12 bits or something like that. Usually you're pretty good with what we have right now. Because I can tell you, every TV that we're buying right now, they make tweaks, they make slight improvements, but for the most part, the color science and all the stuff behind it, for the most part, has plateaued. I mean, their big play this year is like quantum dots behind OLED. While it's freaking fantastic and it looks great, those screens still do run the risk of irreparable damage through burn-in. And I did have one of our members send me a screenshot showing me like the S95B on the Best Buy floor where he was working got burn-in. So it's just kind of like they're still going to be subject to burn-in even with quantum dots. So it's just like all the technology that we're seeing right now is literally like what we saw years ago. Like, what's the big play from Samsung this year? A quantum dot TV. They were pulling that out back in 2015 with their SUHD line. Who remembers that? You know? And now it's just kind of like we repeat the same thing over and over again, except now we have a sick little twist. I find it disgusting personally, where it's like, hey, Mr. Consumer, did you get comfortable? Are you enjoying yourself? Well, good news for you. We're now going to give you gray black levels on those LEDs we used to try so hard on. Like the Q8FN and the Q9FN set a bar, and they just looked at that bar and said, no, too high. Why? I don't understand. Like, why can't good LEDs and good OLEDs exist side by side? It gives the consumer options. I couldn't tell you. But yeah, that's what I have to say about that. I think, again, as long as you, I mean, really, upgrade when you need to. I mean, like, obviously, if you're running on something like, a CRT TV, it's time to upgrade. A plasma, it's time to upgrade. But typically, the lifespan of TVs are anywhere from, like, conservatively 7 to 10 years, depending on its ability to last that long, of course. But you usually don't have to upgrade that much because they don't make that much innovation. Like, this has been a quiet year for TVs. Like, it has. A very boring, very quiet year for TVs. Like, we're all waiting around like, wow, like, what else is there? What's going to happen? Any day now you're going to launch, or at least tell us the launch price of some of these TVs, and nothing. So we're just sitting here and waiting around. But yeah. Okay, so we've got, as long as you want, we've got, thanks for answering my question, bro. Can't wait till the gaming returns. Till the gaming returns? What do you mean? Oh, you mean like gaming in general? Like, because gaming has been slow, or like, what do you mean? We've got John Todd. What's going on? You said love from London, England. You the freaking man. I appreciate that, man. Most definitely. And it's cool. I love seeing imagine right, like you're doing a live stream. You're just like, to me, I'm a guy, right? I just so happen to have a technical expertise in a certain thing. It so happens to be display science, right? Photography. Like, those two are my big wheelhouses, right? And it's just like, to me, I'm just a guy talking on the internet. But it's cool to see like how many people I can touch and reach, right? Like, it's like, oh, I'm from London, I'm from Trinidad. I'm like, wow, like those are like totally different places from where I'm at right now, right? Like, Florida grown over here, and I'm just like, that's so freaking cool. So it's still like I nerd out with that kind of thing, like the international part of it. It's really cool. Not like in an arrogant way or anything. Like, I just genuinely love seeing like people like, wow, I'm like, some guy way overseas somewhere is just like watching me right now on his device, and I'm just like, how freaking cool is that? So yeah, I love hearing where you guys are coming from, states, cities, countries, all that cool stuff, for real. All right, we've got C1 Champ here. You said, sup Q, what's going on, man? Yeah, the C1 is still a heavy hitter for sure, most definitely. We've got Ben. You said a 77-inch 8K, you'd lose perception quality beyond 2 feet LMAO. I mean, I just can't get behind like large screen sizes personally. Like, for me, some people might laugh, right? But like, I rather have, and this is not a joking number, I would rather have 7 to like 10 really good 55 to 65 inch televisions just around my house between storage and all that other stuff than have a big ass TV that, for me personally, is just I don't like those kind of TVs that just are too big. I'm an independent person, right? I like being able to do almost everything myself. I'm that stubborn guy, right? So for me, I like being able to lift a TV and set it up and move it around. If I decide, like, it's think of it like a guy that likes to wear different hats, right? Or shoes or whatever you would interchange a lot, belts, whatever, right? I look at it and I go, today I feel like the Hisense UHG. Tomorrow I feel like the LG C1. How about we break out the old Sony X900E? I like that luxury, but you can't do that if you have a bunch of 75-inch TVs. You got to keep lifting, and it's a two-man job every time. But if they're 55 inches, just hurl them up, or toss them up and do what you got to do. Plug them in, and you're running. And I like run and gun type stuff though. Like that for me is like the ultimate fun. By the way, shout out to Anonymous. He has reached the 12-month, well, technically 13-month here. He's been here for over a year now, which is just it's crazy. You said the truth will come out. Stay safe, man. With you and your family. Prayers. I'm butchering this whole thing, by the way. Family and prayers, brother. Most definitely. I appreciate everything, bro. For those that don't know, Anonymous is a member. Okay, started off a member, just a regular viewer, and then from that became a great friend. Just engaging with the content, right? Like, I absolutely love when stuff like that happens, because, like, I take to YouTube and I like finding people. Like, we're all tech enthusiasts, right, on this channel or in this community, or if you're, like, kind of watching, that you at some point you have some affinity with tech and you like technology. And, like, I love when I find like-minded guys and we can just sit down and talk about technology, and it's not like me pushing my agenda on you or you pushing yours on me. We just talk about the tech, what we like about it, what we dislike. We may agree, we may disagree, but we have fun with it. And, like, Anonymous is like the embodiment of that. Anonymous, Troy, Earth Human, Daniel G, hell, the list goes on. Hell, Kamar, all you guys are, like, literally, like, these guys that, like, we just hang out and chill. And so I do thank you guys for that. You guys, like, bring that, like, positive energy back into the tech community where we just chill. And I can appreciate it. Like, for real. So, yeah, most definitely appreciate you, man. And congrats on getting that level up to the next tier of your crown, man. That's super dope. And shout out to Black Wolf for donating $5. I appreciate it, man. Excuse me here. Still got that cough. I swear, every time I do a live stream, I haven't been coughing all day. I've been great. I've been fine. I'm like, finally, it's starting to subside. And then the next thing I know, it's time for the live stream. And then the cough comes, it's like, it's just every time. But to read what you said here, you said, I have an 86-inch LG 8770 thin Q, but I want an 85-inch Samsung. What do you suggest that's reasonable and worth it? Shout out from Pennsylvania, Steeler Nation. Yeah, man. I don't really, don't laugh at me, because it's not really my sport. I don't really know a lot about football, but ironically enough, I still am a little bit biased towards the Steelers in a way. I don't know. It's going to sound stupid, but I like the insignia and things like that they have. Like, I don't know. It's the charisma, the presence of it. I'm sure I probably just pissed off people who hate the Steelers. Not my intention, but I don't know anything about the sport, so don't hate me. It's just one of those things, like, if you had to pick, like what I do, because sometimes you're not going to watch every sport in existence. What I do, especially around, like, the Olympics time, I love watching, like, different sports, right? And what I'll do, I'll pick a team, like, play a game and be like, all right, who do I like? You. I pick you. And, like, I'll just root for a random team. Like, it happens every year because I don't follow the career of these athletes and I don't know anything about them. But I love watching things like the judo stuff during the Olympics and all that fun, like, contact sports stuff. It's always really cool. The pole vaulters, I'm like, don't die. Like, it's fun and you root for people. So, I don't know. That's just my thing. So, yeah. Weird little tangent to go off on, but just talking about sports in some weird aspect. But, yeah. All right. So, to answer your question... You want something that's worth it. You have an 86-inch and something that's reasonable. Well, that really depends on two things, maybe three. How are you using it is always the most important question. Day, night, mostly, like, with your work schedule, what are you doing with it? And then the other thing would probably be, like, are you willing to take a step down to, like, a 75-inch, or is it non-negotiably? It has to be an 86-inch, 85-inch. And then also from there, you'd have to know, like, is it an OLED you're looking for? Are you looking for a QLED? So those are a couple questions I would ask, like, from, like, the jump. So if you let me know those things, I could try to narrow it down for you. Also, if you guys like, because I know, by the way, I know. I'll say it out loud. I admit it. I know. I'm hard on televisions. I'm critical because I believe that they should fall within certain guidelines. But those guidelines aren't everybody's guidelines. Everybody has, the old to each their own kind of thing. So if you have like a couple of TVs that you're looking at and you say, I'm looking at blase, 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 I will legitimately, every single time without fail, if you just give me the TV options that you have, I'll tell you like over one model over the other what you should buy. And without fail, it will always be the best route you can go, period. Like, fact. Test it out. You'll see what I'm talking about. It'll be the easiest thing you've ever done if you have like and it's hard too, because like especially for the international community, a lot of you guys have models I've never even heard of, but like I'll go and I'll research and I'll look on your behalf like after the live streams and stuff, and I'll tell you like, yeah, you should get this because that one doesn't look all right. And we can narrow some things down that way. So if you're just looking for a quick answer because you're looking to buy something like ASAP pronto, I can help you with that for sure. Thank you, Robinson, right? Robson? I hope I said that right. Okay. I'm trying to pronounce this last name. Ndexstock? I just butchered that. I am so sorry. I don't know how to say that. Let me know how to say that. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I feel bad about that. But you said best smart TV OS. And thank you for your donation of $1.99. It helps the channel grow and help us keep doing what we do here, so I appreciate you, brother. So best smart TV OS. In my personal experience, this is going to be a very unpopular statement, but I would have to give the edge to Sony's OS. They're not particularly snappy or grand, but they always in their operating system work in manual toggles for things. And I've come to really appreciate this. Not just as a calibrator, but as somebody who watches these TVs and like loves just seeing what you could do with them, right? Like, how creative can I be? I love when I'm sitting there with a TV and I have the option to go to BT 2020, DCI-P3, Adobe RGB, and then I can go beyond that. I can then go and enable HLG and start making HLG settings for SDR content to make like the old HDR effect, which, by the way, I am so sour, by the way, that all the new TVs ripped that thing out. HDR effect was really cool, being able to simulate the HDR effect on SDR content. Like, I don't know why that went away. It was a fun, novel thing that I love to mess with. Apparently, the purist community always gets their way. They just raise a big stink. That's not accurate. It's like, we don't have reference standards, man, for HDR. Where are they? Is Dolby Vision the standard? HDR 10 Plus? I don't know. What are we doing? I don't know. It gets annoying when you can't have any fun because all these purists go, you must adhere to the reference accurate standards, of course. Of course. I'm like, bro, stop. Just let us have fun. Like, yes, have a mode made just for all you guys that have your panties in a bunch, and it must be negative 0.1 on the delta error. There will be no errors. Like, if you are that guy, by the way, I will say this, by the way, on the live stream, like, as a calibrator, somebody who used to do it professionally, does it casually, word of mouth, okay? Anybody who is sitting there calibrating to like 0.2 delta error, 0.5 delta error on an active thing, like they say that anyone who doesn't do that is a bad calibrator, lazy calibrator, you don't know what you're doing. These are the people that are very obsessive. And I'm not putting them out. It's obsessive because of the nature of the science. If you follow the science, delta error just means the amount of error before you notice it with your human eye. And it's 3 or lower. Let me say that again. 3 or lower. These guys are going down to 0.2 and saying, you see, I'm a great calibrator. The client sees the television and they're like, okay, not really feeling these settings. They look a little blah, looks a little washed out, but he's the professional, I won't argue. And then they go and they start tinkering with it and messing with it. I'll tell you like this, man. Have fun with your devices. Don't go being like that. And I feel like that mode needs to come back. The HDR plus mode, all the consumer-friendly modes, let consumers have fun. If you have, bro, they should literally have a mode called Purist Mode. That would be beautiful. And that must be the most accurate mode out there. If that's what they want Filmmaker Mode to turn into, have it. And then we get the rest of the TV, you know what I mean? Us normals, us regular everyday people. I still consider myself a regular everyday person. Yeah, I know about display science. Yeah, I know how to construct images. But it's not like God damn, it's not like I sit here every second of every day, like, with a magnifying glass, like, I don't see it. I'm not seeing the reference accuracy. Like, that's fucking boring. How boring are you? Like, that's your personality? Like, God. Ugh, I could never. That's so bland. Sorry, but that's just a personal opinion. That being said, though, that's how I feel. All right, Black Wolf. You said it has to be an 85-inch. You're looking. It has to be. So it has to be particularly an 85-inch Samsung, and 3K is the budget. Oh, okay. So we're gonna do this in real time. We're gonna do Samsung, and then we're gonna look at 85 inches to see what they have, because if I'm not mistaken, that didn't really work out so great for me the last time. Okay, so just so everybody else obviously benefits from this question, because it is a really good question, what is a good 85-inch TV if it has to be Samsung? All day, every day, I would just never touch the AU series, AU 8000. I know they're incredibly popular because of the price point, but I really feel like for that kind of money, you can just take a step down in the size and get something like the C1 or something like that and have like a really bitchin' 65-inch. Yeah, sure, it's not 85 inches, but you have a significantly better TV. So, personally, it's a personal thing. Everybody has their choice. I wouldn't touch the AU series because of gray black levels. That's just my thing. Same thing with the TU 7000. They're known for black levels being gray. The Q70A, known for having a dim picture quality. And again, it's not. You could do better than that. Especially for $2,300, I'd pass. Now we look at something like the Q80A. More of the same story. Pass. Let's see. Samsung QN85A. I was actually a little bit more impressed with the QN85A than the QN80A. If you're okay with a little bit of blooming, then that would probably be one of the first recommendations that I would put out there for you. The Q60A, hard pass, gray blacks, kind of more of the same story there. 85-inch Sony X90K, pass. Wouldn't do it. Reason for that, whole screen was gray. I could have sworn it was an IPS. Now, it could be that the 85-inch is a little bit better, but I'm not expecting it to do a whole lot. I feel like Sony wants you to buy their OLEDs, so I'm not expecting black levels to button up substantially at all. 85-inch Q60B, I mean, maybe if you don't care about like the gray-black levels, because it also has that because it doesn't have local dimming, but I don't know. I wouldn't do that. The QN85, I feel like is way too much damn money. They're talking about $3,700 for an 85-inch, and it's not going to have like OLED blacks, or it's not like micro LED. I wouldn't pay that kind of money for an LED set. It's not worth that, especially because it's old tech. Quantum dots, don't let them fool you with this Neo QLED crap. It's just rebranding every year. First it was SUHD, then it was Quantum Dot, then they rebranded it to QLED. And then they rebranded it to Neo QLED once they had mini LEDs in there that do nothing different, by the way. I've tested this now for like steadily 2-3 years now. No different when you go from the full array to this. In fact, I found the Q8FM behind me slaughters what they do now. And people don't like that, but it's true. So I would pass on that. I mean, really, I would go with like maybe the QN85A. An argument maybe can be made. I mean, that's a 75-inch though for $2,100. I wouldn't do that. It has to be 85 inches. I stay away from the TU series, as I was saying. I wouldn't pay $5,000 for the QN900A. That would be a hard pass. I mean, really, your options aren't great with Samsung, if I'm being honest. The price points are massive, like freaking $6,000 for the QN800B. What, for 8K that we don't have on the market right now? I don't know. The QN85, the Q80B, which is just, again, it's another budget model. They don't do anything to like button up black levels substantially. It is the step down below the Neo QLED, but they are charging a substantial amount of money, so I'd pass on that. The Hisense U9DG, pass. Horrible motion. Black levels were alright, but that motion is unforgivable. I couldn't do it. The frame, I mean, I was actually impressed with the frame. If this is last year's frame, I got to see this year's. Last year's frame, it didn't have the best black levels, but almost everything else was impressive. And the one thing that really hit me was the clarity. That was really good. So that might be an option for you there. If you're not a stickler for black levels, I would say the QN85 so far and the frame. I know we're going through a lot of TVs here, but that's just kind of what I'm seeing. Especially because the frame comes with that one connect box. That is just snazzy right there. Let's see. QN, you said it had to be 3,000, so that's not going to cut it. And again, we kind of exhausted everything from what I can see anyway. That's a $3,000 price range. I would not go with the TU 9000 series even. No, wouldn't do that. I know I'm going even into some Sonys and some other territories, but yeah, I wouldn't do that. So yeah, if it has to be a Samsung, I personally would go with the QN85A and just try that out. That would be what I would do. So hopefully that was beneficial and helped in some way. We've got a friend of mine is looking for a new TV. Needs to be 55 inches, preferably 500-ish ballpark. For that, I would 100% go with the TCL S546 until we get word on the replacement. I will be testing it and all that good stuff, but for right now, the only TV in that price range that I have seen that is like, hell yeah, you go like hand in hand with the most luxurious, expensive TVs well above that price range, is the TCL S546. If you can find it, go for it. Now, if you have options, like maybe you're in a different region or country, or like that's not available, then let me know. But that is my number one pick for sure. What's going on, C-Dub? And I want to say shout out to you, C-Dub, for just being so helpful right now. I know you've been in the comment section, you've been being supportive, you've been, cheering me on, trying to help me out and all this good stuff. You've really been fantastic. A lot of you guys have been doing that, and I do see you guys, and I want to say thank you for that as well. We have... what is this? For what it's worth, I have a 65-inch UAG, and I love it. Best purchase I made last year. I use Q settings too. Yeah, and I mean, right now, I'm actually, because like I was saying earlier in the stream, I do this thing where I rotate TVs constantly. Like every quarter or so, I'll be like, all right, it's time to move around, like like musical chairs almost. So for me, I like the concept of switching things out. And right now I'm using the UHG a lot more, so a lot more settings are about to be made for the UHG. I thought I had a cough, but I don't. So if... I forget my train of thought. So if you're looking for the UHG to be upgraded in any way, keep on the fence for that, because we're definitely going to be putting out some more stuff there. I have gotten a lot of requests for HDR stuff on the UHG too. I've got to really sit down with that and try to do that as well. So yeah, it's a lot of fun stuff. So hopefully, again though, with that 85-inch recommendation, I don't know if that was helpful for you, but hopefully it did. We've got new members. Shout out to Aqua22. Thank you for becoming a member. That really means a lot to me. Welcome to the VIP family, brother. Handycart Mexican says Q settings on the UHG are 100% fire. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the videos you post on Discord, and while I know cell phones don't really do it justice, because I shoot the same kind of videos, because like I record displays and talk about them, I see what you're seeing on your end. You have a pretty good panel variance, man. Like I'm looking at some of the stuff and I'm like, damn, all right, yeah, that's really good. I don't know if all that was after the update, but yeah, it looks really good. Kelly Ravad says, welcome Aqua22. That's what's up. We've got Handycart Mexican says Black Wolf, and he says Black Wolf and Aqua, thank you for becoming new members. And see, that's what I love. I love when I have actual members, right? Welcome other members into the membership community. Dude, I could not have been any more blessed or any more lucky with the community that I have. And not a cop out, 100% true. Because I have guys that Handycart Mexican, Anonymous. They didn't just take me at my word, right? They weren't just like, all right, you say your settings are the best. No, they looked at me and they go, are they the best? Well, let's see. And fact check it out, vet me, and see that I'm legit. And then when new people come in, they help them. That's the most important thing. They help them out and say, hey, you should try this. You should try to do that. Have you tried that? They're like at this point, unpaid technical support. It's unreal. I feel terrible about it because I'm not at the level where I can hire a team or anything, of course. I'm a small YouTuber. I mean, you see 68,000 subscribers and think it means, oh, it's so great. No, I'm a small YouTuber. I'm not YouTube brass, right? And for me, it's crazy because it's I watch how they help all these people come in. And I really want to say you guys have really been super helpful, and I do appreciate that. And again, you guys will see it, like Aqua, Black Wolf. Like, if you have questions, get with Anonymous, get with Handycart, get with Troy, get with some of the other members and just ask them questions. They're really good with helping out too. Because I mean, I'm only human and I don't see everything. And I'll be very real with you. I don't always see all your comments, especially sometimes nowadays, because people like to play games and like hate comment over and over again the same thing. So there's not really a whole lot I could do with seeing comments. And I feel bad because like a lot of you guys are asking questions and it doesn't get seen. So I try to do these live streams to get those questions nailed out. So seriously, bring those questions and we're going to make them happen. We're going to get as many of them done as we can. We've got Trevor Knott. What's going on? You said, what is the best cable to use? HDMI or DisplayPort 1.4? HDR sucks. Well, if we're being very honest with you, I mean, it depends on what HDMI. HDMI 2.1, I prefer over DisplayPort. If you're talking about just regular HDMI, DisplayPort is better. But again, that's more for like PC type stuff, obviously, as you know. For me personally, I still like HDMI. It's just easier for me. I just prefer it regardless. So that's my thing. As far as the best, it really does depend on what you're using. Though for me, I can't get behind monitors. You know, and I wish TVs had DisplayPort connections. That'd be cool. That'd be dope to see that kind of transition where it's not all about HDMIs. But I can't get behind monitors. They are like decades behind where TVs are. And you're better off 100% of the time, personal opinion, going with a TV like the C1 or the C2 42-inch or something like that. Like, you're way better doing that than buying any garbage monitor that's going to have gray blacks or whatever. Personal opinion, again, I know. But yeah. We've got, there it is. It was there. I had to like stop and wait for it to come, but it was there. All right. New internet company coming to the area. What's the best internet speed for streaming with new and old Sony Trinitron TV with Fire Stick? Honestly, if I'm being very real with you, I've never really gotten into the whole technicals of like the best internet. I know fiber is supposed to be like the best of the best if you can get your hands on it. But honestly, I don't go too crazy with internet. I don't like research it a lot. So if any of you guys in the chat have that answer and you know provider-wise what's the best, also that does depend on the provider in your area. I don't know if like you have pick of the litter or whatnot, but like that would also be great if you guys know. Let them know down below for sure. Shout out to Craig. I appreciate you becoming a member. I mean, you've been a member for 8 months here. I mean, you've been fantastic. And, donation, I think is what that is. No, that's membership. That's a membership. So I appreciate you, brother. I can't tell. I really can't tell. I think it's a comment. I don't really know. Usually when I get comments, they're like black. So I don't know if that's a super chat or what. I have no idea. Every super chat so far has been like black with the writing. And this is like white where the text box appears. It says $1.99. I don't know if you donated $1.99. If you did, thank you. I appreciate it. Either way, thank you for being a member, man. I'm getting my ass kicked right here by this cough. We're going to probably have to wrap it up real soon, but I'm going to try to get through as many questions before that happens. All right. We've got HDMI 2.1 cables. Speaking of settings, how can I get the C2 settings? Okay. If you have any questions, and this is very important for all new members, existing members, regardless, the number one way to get a hold of me immediately, because like that's the only thing that like trolls don't have access to, and people who like want to like do this stupid game they're playing right now where they like literally just spam with random comments. The fastest way to get a hold of me, go through the membership VIP tab. I see those like bam, like that. And I can link or give you the link for that specific television. I can give you the playlist, but typically they're all categorized by playlist. So just go in the LGC2 playlist, under playlist, and you'll be able to see all the settings that I have for the C1 and all this other stuff in the various playlists. So that's how you would get the settings if you're having a hard time finding it or things like that. Q, I actually caught you live. Thank you for stopping by, Alejandro. And you've been definitely one of our longtime viewers here for sure. You said usually stuck at work. Yeah, I do remember that being like a constant thing for you, man. So hey, thank you for finally being able to catch it, stopping by, having the spare time to do so. I appreciate you, brother. We've got hello from Bristol, bro. That's super cool. Shout out to Sebastian from Bristol. We've got if my U7G was calibrated correctly, would it look nice paired with the with my Series S? Absolutely. The U7G is one of the most beautiful TVs in the Hisense lineup, second only to the UHG, which I personally still to this day believe is their number one TV. They have not come out with anything that I've seen that has beaten the UHG. Like the UHG is like tops for picture quality, then the U7, then the U6. Like that G series was like on point. Now I don't know if they're going to keep that same energy this year. I'll be testing it, but so far, I mean, yeah, that TV is great. If you calibrate it, it's going to be great. Now the Hisense is weird though. They don't have auto cal, so unfortunately you can't just go in and boom, wham, bam it. So you do have to manually calibrate it. You can do the 2 or the multi-point method. I think, honestly though, for Hisense, you're better off doing a 2-point method of calibration, because sometimes with Hisense TVs, even after you do multi-point, some of the dials don't work correctly, and then you'll throw your results way the hell off. It is what it is. I don't know if it's a budget TV. They got growing to do in that area. They need to get partnered with AutoCal to let that happen, but they're a little bit behind with the smart calibration features and with advanced calibration in general. I still keep having to deal with the green cyan issue. Like you go and start changing hue a little too much, and then it's too reactive. But that's one of the things that we have with Hisense as a problem. But as far as calibration, just do a 2-point calibration method, and you'll definitely experience it a lot better. I also have settings for the U7G. I know it sounds, again, like a sales pitch, and it can seem cheesy, but really, though, there is no easier way to get your TV to hum and purr like a kitten, and you'll see it. You'll go on the settings, and you'll see like all the comments of people who have tried the settings. You'll see what I mean. That's the fastest way, the easiest way to just get it going. Now, full disclaimer here, like I also have to throw this out there on a live stream so it can, the people who want to find it can find it. I in no way, shape, or form advertise calibrations. Those are very different from settings. Why do I say it like that? I have to say it like this. Calibrations, when I come to your home, I physically assess the scene, and I, again, per your ambient light, per your situation, your panel variants, hook up my tools, my instruments, and I calibrate your screen. I can't do that. What I do is I hook up my instruments to my unit. I study the algorithms for commonalities and hues, behaviors, traits, all that kind of stuff. Processing. I analyze and study all this stuff and come up with a more universal setting than what the manufacturer created, and then I push that out, and then I give that out for $5. That's what I do. And pretty much almost everyone that has seen my settings that I've encountered has loved the results, so that feedback helps always improve. Now, that's not to say that they're perfect. They're not perfect. Some people have, their skin tones are a little green because the panel variance doesn't work out, or it's a little red, and we have to go back in and we adjust. So the beautiful thing about the membership is that every time we do something, we always do it per your issue. So you can reach out and say, hey, I'm noticing this is looking a little green in this particular show or on this particular device, and I go back to the drawing board and help you out there. That's what we do. The results have been great. Oh, I don't know if I'm still live here. Am I live? It says I'm still streaming. I don't know. I bumped something down here, and then it just said like I'm not streaming. Am I still streaming? I think I'm still streaming. I don't know. If I'm not still streaming, I'm going to be talking to myself for a minute. But either way, that's the whole idea behind that. Again, I still have no idea if I'm streaming. If I'm streaming, just let me know down below. I'll see maybe you guys in the chat. Yeah, I'm still streaming. I don't know. It just, the whole, this whole thing has been weird for me, where my chat has lagged and then my screen dropped out and it said the live stream was over, even though it's not over. So it's really stupid. But yeah, so that's the whole idea there. Shout out to Craig for donating $1.99. I don't know what happened with that. It was weird. It just said $1.99. That was weird. But I thank you, brother. On top of being a member, supporting what we do here, I really appreciate you, man. Thank you for that. Troy, what's going on, brother? Yo, I seriously want to give a massive thank you and shout out to you, man. You have been fantastic. Like you have been one of the more supportive people I've run into on the internet from literally every angle. And I'm not just talking about with the nonsense that we deal with, but also like in general, just talking to people and helping people. You've been fantastic. And I see you, brother, and I thank you for your help. You are amazing, and I'm lucky to have you here. So thank you for being here. Thanks, Handycart Setting, Handycart Mexican, got you. We've got, hey, made it, greetings, folks. What's going on, Cannon? Thanks for stopping by. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for coming out. We're doing this thing in the live stream where, say shout out from like, wherever you're from, greetings from wherever you're from. And I'll do it again here. Greetings from Florida, Sunshine State. What's up? I love it. So yeah, just let me know where you guys are from. Hey, give that shout out, rep for your city, that kind of thing. And we're going to keep answering some more questions. Troy in the house, Kelly Rivard says. He says, what's up, Kelly? We've got, will you be using, I will be using my U8G till it dies. Same here. Enoch, what's going on? Bro, every time you show up, it's like a heavy hitter shows up, because then I see like the #1 brand and honesty insignia pop up by a name, and I'm like, oh yeah, you've been here for a long time. That 24-month badge ain't no joke, man. Thank you for that. Like, seriously, every time I see it, it's the coolest thing. You said, what's good, Quantum? Hopefully not too late for the super chat. Just you showing up is a super chat, man. I appreciate you, brother. We've got Alejandro. You said Handycart Mexican is the real one, helping so much. Shout out to him. He really is, though. He helps a lot. I do appreciate you guys, for real. He said it's what we're here for. And yeah, man, Enoch, bro, you got recognition. You got people like, yo, Enoch. They know who you are, man. That's what's up, brother. All right, so I don't know if I can see like the live chat. I don't know if it's still live or whatever. Yeah, it's still live. Bro, I have to go in and refresh this thing like ever so often because it gets weird. Nothing exotic, but greetings from Pennsylvania. I see you, Kelly Ravad. PA in the house. We've got Los Angeles from Craig. Tallahassee, Florida. Oh, man, another Floridian in the house. What's up? That's what's up, man. I appreciate it. We've got always been curious why you use the Shield over other streamers compared to internal application. I don't use the Shield. I never use the Shield. I use Xbox and PlayStation. Those are my primary methods. So, like, I'm a weeb, okay? Otaku baby, what's up? I love anime, like, to die for. All kinds of anime, doesn't matter. And not that illegal shit, right? I'm talking, like, I pay for Crunchyroll because it's the right thing to do. Those animators are underpaid. If you watch illegally, have a heart, man. They're literally working their ass off to give us what we love. But not to go on a rant. My thing is, though, I like to use Xbox a lot for Crunchyroll because, particularly with PlayStation 5, there's this issue where sometimes it's janky and you can have like chopping or judder or stutters or skips, and that kills it for me, and I can't have that. So, that's that. But then sometimes it's fine, so it really depends. PS4 Pro I love using on my AAG all the time, so it really does depend. Because you had settings where you could go in and you can set streaming to 24p and lock it there so it doesn't have those inconsistencies with the frame rate. So yeah, that's what I use. But never the Shield. I still don't know what the Shield really does or what it's for. Shout out to Leroy Rodriguez, new member. Thank you for coming back. I do know you were a member before. I appreciate you. Again, and thank you for all the support you've been giving over the last few weeks. You have been fantastic. I see you, Leroy. Thank you so much for all of the support. Seriously, thank you. We've got Bridge City, Texas. Yo, man, I love when you guys shout out. You want to see a dork come out to me, start shouting out on all my live streams where you're from, rep for that city. That is exciting stuff for me. Like, I love seeing it. I love seeing it, bro. It never gets old. It's so cool. Bridge City, Texas. I didn't even know Bridge City was a place in Texas. I'm not cultured. I know, but it's still cool. We've got Leroy. We've got Leroy becomes a new member. Let's go. Yeah, I'm probably going to have to end the stream here and take my medicine because I'm definitely getting my ass kicked here. But just switched from Funimation to Crunchyroll today, actually. Yeah, man, Crunchyroll is where it's at. I love it, even though it's like all the same thing. Like, it's weird. But yeah. Beham, what's new? Bahum, I don't know that. I guess that's an expression. I'm really bad at this. Like, I don't know what you call that. Like, What do you call that? I don't know. I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself. I don't know this lingo, this shortened language talking. I don't get it. You said what's new in the anime? What's new in anime you watching this season, bro? What am I not watching? Obviously, we're watching One Piece Wano. That all day, every day. Love it. The Shield Hero. Um, Love is War. And yes, I watch those romance animes. A really good romance anime that I think everybody should watch is one that isn't raunchy. So try those. Um, Again, there's just so many animes that I watch now. I mean, it's kind of slow now. I'm waiting for the next season of One Punch Man, Black Clover, all that good stuff to come back. But right now, I mean, like, I wish I could open up like my Crunchyroll now and just tell you, but like, you just get with me on Discord. If you want access to the Discord, by the way, just like get with me or Anonymous or one of our mods, like Anonymous, Handy Cart. Just get with us, or maybe I'll put a link, like our permanent link, in the description, and then you can jump into the Discord, and then you guys can see what I watch. We have a whole anime section where we just talk about that kind of stuff. But yeah, right now I'm really just trying to find a new anime because I binge watch them when I have the time. So like it'll be like 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh shit, I got to work tomorrow. I can't do this. Let's watch another episode. So I don't know. It's one of those things, man. So I don't know. I don't know. It is what it is. But yeah, so that's what I'm watching in anime. Everything I can. 700 plus games. Stay strong. We're here with you. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate you, brother. Steven's IT Essentials. I appreciate you, brother. I have the U8G. My soundbar keeps cutting off. I called Hisense, left a message. Sent me a fix, but I never heard back from the company. TV company take pride with this, with the new... this will be on their new firmware. I think if you're having cutout problems with soundbar, maybe try like switching out cables, because that happened to me recently. Unfortunately, it wasn't the cable. I need to buy a new soundbar. Yay me. But I'm going to run it into the ground. I swear to God. I will wait until that thing explodes. I'm like that with technology that like I cling to over the years, that I've had for a few years. Like I've had that soundbar, my LG soundbar. I'm not getting rid of it. I don't care. Optical's not the hottest thing out there. I will run it into the ground. That's right. I've got good expensive ones. I'll run that one into the ground. I love it. So yeah. I would check the cables though. Birmingham, Alabama. Thank you. I mean, I'm really bad. I'm really bad with all this stuff. But yeah. Oh, don't be like that. There's nothing wrong with Birmingham, Alabama. Hey, it's better than Dothan. I was passing through there, leaving Paris Island, bro, and oh my God, still to this day, I still tell stories about Dothan, Alabama, and how horrible that city. It literally looked like a third world country. Not bagging on you if you're from there. If you're from Dothan, Alabama, you know. Like, bro, I didn't even know the states could look like that. It was like a bizarro land. Like, it was like when you like watch TV, like, and there's this fantasy barrier and you pass through the barrier and everything changes. That was Dothan, like coming out of a different area. It was crazy. It's like bizarro land. And we went to the Greyhound bus station and we're just waiting there. And I'm like, whoa, this is very different. Like, very different United States. Weird. So, yeah. Nothing wrong with Birmingham, Alabama. I've heard of that. Kelly Rivard says, if I could recommend an anime, Wicked City is a great anime. It's from the 90s. All right. Hey, I'm down to watch anything. I'm a 90s baby, so you're not going to scare me off with 80s or 90s, man. I love all that stuff. Anonymous, what's going on, brother? Oh, by the way, thank you for all the help you've been giving out as well. You've been a rock star. I haven't been able to call you, text you, or get a hold of you outside of like one-offs. And I do apologize. Sometimes I do send some late text messages, like one-offs and stuff like that. So I do apologize for that. But, shout out to you, man. Hats off to you. You are just on the money, man. Like, what else can I say? I can't even thank you enough. You're fantastic, brother. For real. You said 99% of the time it's an issue with the soundbar setup. It's not the TV. Yeah, I usually kind of assume it's the soundbar setup. But yeah, Anonymous is like an audio whiz. My personal opinion, that's your guy right there. As much as I would like to say I know a lot about audio, I don't. I'm more primarily the display side of it. Audio side of it, not really my thing. I'm actually a bum when it comes to audio, guys. Like, I actually will be like, I just need a soundbar that sounds really good, and then I'm good. But like guys like Anonymous, he has speakers that are unsafe for the human body. Like, I can't do it, man. I don't go that deep with it. But then again, it's a personal preference. I hate wires. I hate wires. You want to talk about a pet peeve? Untangling wires. Not me. I hate going behind there, resetting everything. And as much as I switch TVs out, that'd be a pain. I can't. But that's me. But yeah, he's your guy for sure with audio. So yeah. Shout out from Raceland, Louisiana. I've never actually heard of Raceland, Louisiana. That's different. We've got Alejandro. Which do you recommend? The C1 or for this year, C1, S95B, or should I wait for the A95K? If you are okay with taking the hit in color and the like razzle dazzle and being blown away, then go with the C1 because the price is just fantastic and you get a lot of picture size for the money. It's a great value. Not that it's a budget TV, but the value, price to dollar ratio in this inflated time period is totally there. That's a no-brainer TV. I still swear by it. Its picture quality is fantastic. And if you don't have the S95B, you won't really know what you're missing. However, if you have the S95B all day, every day, that is it. That is, if you could do it, I say even if you can't do it, save up. Like, reward yourself. Put in the time, save up for a little bit. I'll tell you a story about the time I got my first $2,000 camera, bro. I had to save up for that thing for months at the time. And it was like, bro, I'm sitting here saving and saving and saving. And even then, I'm like, that's a lot of money for a damn camera. It's like, even now, I still hate the concept of like having to replace the camera. Like I told you guys how I had my port crap out on me, and I'm like, great, now I got to upgrade. I hate replacing cameras. Weird that a photographer hates replacing cameras, but I hate replacing cameras. I just don't like doing it because they're so expensive, because then I know myself. I know a lot about it, so then I start overthinking it and overanalyzing it and all that fun stuff. So, yeah, that's the whole thing there. But S95B definitely is what I love. Raceland, Louisiana, you said, wow, my South Louisiana people in the house, for sure, for sure. Troy, moderator, also is knowledgeable in audio too. Yes, he is. I have seen that for sure. I got you too, anonymous with the audio. Sorry, I missed you, Troy. Yes, Troy is another one. I'm really bad with keeping tabs on all this stuff. I'm like, you guys have no idea. I manage 1,000,001 different things in life, and I know everybody does, but like I handle it poorly. So that's the difference here. I'm like juggling all over the place. So that's kind of, especially with like personal life, it's a lot. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for reminding me of stuff like that. I'm going to answer like 2 more questions, and I'm going to head out and take my medicine here because I really need it. What do you think is better for PC gaming, 43-inch QN90B or 42-inch C2? If you don't want burn-in and you're sitting on like old things like old games, emulated games, things like that. All right, that one stung. 43 inches, I would say don't want burn-in, go with the QN90B, but be prepared for that blooming, which is unforgivable for me, which is why my personal choice would be the LG C2. While it's not the greatest for motion, it definitely does do a wonderful job overall with almost everything else. Alpha 7R, talk about cost. Yeah, the A7R. I don't know. This is gonna sound terrible, but I'm like one of those like status whores, I guess, when it comes to like my photography buddies. I just hate the concept of being seen with like just like the A7. I have to get the R every time. I'm the sucker they made that for. And I just know it. I'm just like, but I have to wait for them to come out with one that's like substantially better than the A7R right now that only supports 8-bit. So it's like, because I love it. I love looking over, seeing my A7R. It's like, for me, I like that. That's like, I invest in the gear. I love that. That's a personal thing. But yeah, the cost is ridiculous. You're talking like $3,000, $3,500 sometimes. It's ridiculous. Like the A7S territory, A7S3 territory. Correction. All right, guys. That's pretty much it for this live stream. I don't have any more in me. I've got to go take my medicine. But we will do another live stream every Friday. 7 p.m. is when we start. And we're just going to have these open, candid conversations. So bring your questions. We are going to talk about things. We're going to test things, all kinds of stuff. It'll be fun. You guys know what we do here. And then just hang out and talk about Tech Talk. And don't forget to rep your city and let me know where you're from. That's always fun. Thank you for all the new members who came, everybody who donated tonight. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are fantastic. You guys help Quantum TV stay viable and do what we do in the midst of like inflation and all these prices going up, the chip shortages and all that stuff, and like all we're waiting for. You guys help us stay truly independent to give those ridiculously unbiased views that you guys want to see, the reviews rather that you guys want to see, and that's really what we do here. So I thank you guys so much. As you can hear, I'm a mess. I've got to get up from here, get my medicine, but it has been so much fun. You guys have a safe and blessed night. I appreciate, again, everything from you guys. Everybody who came out tonight, whether you donated or not, you guys are fantastic. And I want to thank you guys for watching the #1 Branded Honesty. In the next video, I should be dealing with the, Samsung Q60B. I'm wrapping that up. We're going to publish our findings and all that fun stuff in the review video, and then we're going to be moving on. Looking forward to the either A80K or maybe the A95K if we can ever get word about it. But that's pretty much it. Again, you guys have a safe and blessed night, and I'm going to log off here and fail immediately at doing it.